Coming up on Mountain News this morning, leaders with a historic battlefield are left looking for answers after a break-in, and one eastern Kentucky city continues to see some progress on a major makeover project.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good Friday morning to you. Almost said it was Good Friday evening. No, that's later today. I'll be anchoring the evening news. It's 5:32. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning. Let's head over to Brandon. Brandon, you and I left yesterday at about literally the same time. I asked you, hey, is it going to rain? Can I get my car washed? You said you can, but I wouldn't.
Yep.
Well,
and
I did.
Tell them what I said before that. I said you literally was with me
yes,
16 times yesterday, and you weren't paying attention not one time. But then I told you I would, or you could, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I didn't heed your warning. So
exactly. So, well, I hope it works out for you today. I don't know if it's going to or not, but we're going to continue to see. If it rains later, I'm blaming it on you. That's not the cold front that's approaching that we've been tracking for days. I'm blaming it on Dakota Makris. Anyway, let's get into our cameras this morning here at 533 US 119 up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain. 50 degrees up there this morning. Dry for the moment. Not too bad. Clintwood a little cooler there at 39. It was 41 at the house in Letcher County, but everybody else is in the mid to upper 40s and even mid to upper 50s on some of those ridge tops. Your 12-hour planner today, sunrise at 7:40. You'll probably get to see that. Sunset at 7:43. You might get to see that in some areas, but those rain chances will be in here at that point. So we're keeping a close eye on those later today, especially after lunchtime. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office is investigating what is believed to be a murder after a body was found Wednesday. Sheriff Doug Saylor says they received a report of a body being found on Old Ratliff Road. Authorities say it was confirmed to be a missing person from Floyd County. 46-year-old Paul Sester was reported missing in January. His body was taken to Frankfort for an autopsy, where it was determined on Thursday that he died of unnatural causes. Well, the Bell County Sheriff's Department is investigating a crash that killed 2 people in the Little Clear Creek community Thursday morning. Deputies say a pickup truck ran off the road before flipping over in a ditch. The impact of the crash ejected both people inside. The passenger, Caleb Bayless, was pronounced dead at the scene by the Bell County coroner. And the driver, former Bell County football player Colby Frazier, was taken to Pineville Community Health Center, where he died shortly after. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. An eastern Kentucky man died after a car crash in Santa Rosa County, Florida, Wednesday night. Florida Highway Patrol troopers say the crash was on Interstate 10. The car, driven by a 19-year-old man from Butler, Kentucky, left the interstate, crossed the median, and hit another car. A 23-year-old passenger from Jackson, Kentucky, died. Another passenger, a 19-year-old man from Lexington, suffered critical injuries. The names of the men were not released. Officials with one historic eastern Kentucky battleground are trying to find who was responsible for a recent break-in and theft. Well, we talked with the battleground leaders about how the incident could impact the Perry County Group's operations going forward.
I bought 1 pane, I need 2, looks like.
Those with the Battle of Leatherwood are picking up the pieces of glass after a recent break-in.
March the 4th, we were in here discussing bids for a chimney with the man, and everything was there at the time. Board
Chairman and President Kerry Crutcher says he believes it happened after March 4th, saying whoever broke in stole toy soldiers and cannons, along with Native American jewelry one man made and had on consignment.
We have a place here, it gives the local folks an outlet to sell things. And, you know, there's a lot of people that's very talented, that work at a high level, but don't have a place they can sell.
We are told the stolen items amount to a couple $1,000s. While that may not sound like a lot to some, Crutcher says that is 40% of their annual operating budget.
Something like this is kind of, well, it's unprecedented for one thing. We've never had a problem, you know, before, but it is devastating.
Working on plans to make their buildings more secure to prevent future break-ins, looking to expand their camera systems.
Try to do this stuff, it's for the community. You know, it's a lot of people putting a lot of hard work in, and somebody comes along like this and, you know, cleans out everything.
But hoping to continue their mission of preserving history. Well, Home Lumber Company donated new glass to help offset some of those costs. Battleground leaders tell us they plan to file a report with Perry County Sheriff's Office. The city of Pikeville is seeing major progress on its streetscape project. The project, which is a makeover to 2nd Street in the downtown area, will feature new brick pavers, water sidewalks, a slight curve in the road, and spots for bollards to be placed to block traffic during events. Although there were many changes, city engineer Brad Sloan ensured this should not change traffic flow in the area on a regular day-to-day basis.
The normal traffic flow will be right there, and you know, there'll be on-street parking, so people won't see a significant change to the ability for traffic to flow through the area.
Well, he also said unless crews run into other issues or bad weather, he estimates 2nd Street will be open to regular traffic around April 15th. Well, kids aged 6 to 13 are learning more about theater with teachers from Morehead State University thanks to a partnership with the Lexington Children's Theater's youth program. The troupe will produce an entire production of Alice in Wonderland from start to finish. Now the kids build props, design costumes, and rehearse and put on a performance. The play will be Saturday evening at 6:30 at the Forum in Hazard.
The arts have a unique way of building community and building relationships. It opens doors for socialization and communication and to build relationships across the county.
In July, the Appalachian Arts Alliance will organize another community theater performance designed for all ages. Well, one of U.S. history's most familiar women is said to be inspired by a Kentucky woman. Rosie Leigh Monroe was born in Science Hill. During World War II, she worked in a factory and appeared in a war bonds promotional film. Shelby Lofton spoke to a group of Pulaski County women who worked to honor Rose's legacy, teaching young girls about the woman who did it all.
Women can do anything.
The Somerset Junior Women's Club proved that to be true. A face that lines the pages of history books can be matched to a well-known name in Pulaski County.
I am Rose Leigh Monroe, or Rosie the Riveter.
Robin Denny and her fellow club members are committed to remembering Rosie. It all started with a drive to work.
And I heard this ad that talked about Rosie the Riveter being from Bobtown. And I'm like, do what?
Melanie King started researching who Rose the Riveter was.
She literally put the planes together and used the big, huge rivet gun.
Rose Leigh Monroe isn't the same woman on the posters we see today, but her name and face did have their moment of fame.
Rose's boss said, I have a real Rose on my line. And they interviewed her, and then she did some war bond films.
King and her fellow club members are keeping her legacy in the spotlight through history walks.
I kind of love being her.
And permanent road signs. People in town remember the Renaissance woman well.
Oh, she was vivacious and a spitfire. She wanted to fly, wasn't allowed to fly during World War II, so in the 70s she got her pilot license.
Beyond being a riveter, she was a beautician, built homes, and owned a cab company.
Rosie was definitely an empowered woman. And hopefully we get our story told enough that the little girls know that she came from this area.
An icon lives on.
I don't want her to be lost, ever. I want her to stay in our history.
In Pulaski County, Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
The Somerset Junior Women's Club raised $1,500 to pay for 2 Pulaski County road signs in Rose Leigh Monroe's name. Well, just had this morning an unreleased album by a late great musician prepares to officially see the light of day. That's on the way.
And one more mild day is on the way before a cold front swings to the region, knocking us down a peg or two before spring begins this weekend. The latest forecast in 3 minutes.